Hello, wrestling fans. I just got done watching NXT Vengeance Day 2024. Uh, it actually turned out better than I expected because I think on paper it didn't look as good as last year's Vengeance Day. The show kicks off with the final match of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament, as we saw Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams take on Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, who are known as the Wild Dogs. Trick and Hayes had the early advantage. Breaker hit a lariat. I forgot who he hit it on. Actually, it was Carmelo Hayes who took that lariat from Breaker. Trick eventually gets the hot tag. He hits Corbin with a Uranagi suplex, but Corbin eventually hits the deep six on Trick. Breaker did a flip off the top rope onto both Hayes and Trick on the floor. Breaker was looking to spear Trick, but Hayes ended up taking the spear, and at 14 minutes 27 seconds, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin defeat Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes to win the final match of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament. Up next was the no disqualification match, in which we saw Joe Gacy take on Dijak. Dijak early on hit a stiff gladiator. Gacy hit the heck is that? Oh my god, my eyes. Gacy hit a cannonball on Dijak on the floor while Dijak was sitting in a chair. Also on the floor, Dijak hit a spinning boot to the face, hit a Death Valley driver. Actually, it was the Death Valley driver was back in the ring. At one point, Dijak was pushed off the apron and he crashed to a table that had like a crate full of toys on it that Gacy had put there. Dijak chokeslammed Gacy on a chair. Gacy hit a German off while Dijak was standing on the top rope. Gacy takes duct tape and wraps it around Dijak's eyes to the point where he couldn't see. Then Gacy's using a kendo stick. Dijak hit I think it's called Feast Your Eyes. It's like a torture rack turned into like a go to sleep type move. But Dijak, still blinded by the duct tape, could not find Gacy to make a pinfall. Gacy hit a DDT on a steel chair, then hit a top rope splash. Dijak used the nightstick, then hit a second Feast Your Eyes. I believe that's the name of the finisher. At 11 minutes, 58 seconds, Dijak defeats Joe Gacy in the no disqualification match. And in my opinion, I think Dijak needed this win. It seemed like he couldn't get a break for some time, especially on one of the bigger shows of NXT. Next up, we had OTM Out the Mud. Bronco... Oh, apologies for not getting their name. They took on the D'Angelo family. Tony D'Angelo, Stax, and Rizzo. OTM was accompanied by Scripps. The ladies started the matchup. The D'Angelo family had the early advantage. Stax was in peril, taking punishment. D'Angelo got the hot tag. Rizzo hit a dive off the top rope onto, I guess, all members of OTM on the floor. Tony hit a spine buster, followed by a cradle suplex on Lucius Price. At 10 minutes, 10 seconds, the D'Angelo family defeated OTM. Next up was our first title match of the show, as we saw Roxanne Perez challenge Lyra Valkyria for the women's title. The ladies had some mat work to start out the matchup. Lyra hit a diving dropkick to the floor. Perez hit a springboard moonsault. Lyra with a Fisher woman suplex. And then followed up with a wicked German suplex. Roxanne hit a top rope Hurricane Rana, followed by a Pop Rocks. But at that point, Lola Vice comes running to the ring. And Tatum Paxley, I think's her name. She's been like kind of hanging around with Lyra lately. or Lyra. And she tries to stop Lola from cashing in her breakout tournament contract, where she'd get a title shot at any time. But Lola took Tatum down. Lola enters the ring and says, I want in on this match. So it turns into a triple threat match. Lola had put a sleeper hold on Roxanne. Roxanne tried the Bret Hart trick off the second rope, kicked into the second rope, but Lola kicked out. Lola put a triangle choke on Roxanne, but Lyra hit a splash off the top rope on Lola. Lola hit those multiple kicks that I've seen Speedball Mike Bailey do. She did that to both Lola did that to Lyra and Roxanne in the match. Lyra hit the Amityville Horror, which she calls Nightwish, on Roxanne. Lola hit a spinning backhand on Lyra, I believe. And eventually Lyra hit a second Nightwish on Lola. And at 13 minutes, 31 seconds, Lyra Valkyria defeated Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice to retain the Women's Championship. Up next was a singles competition as we saw Dragon Lee challenge Oba Femi for the North American title. Early in the match, Lee hit a suicide dive through the ropes onto the floor. Oba eventually took control. Lee makes a comeback. He gives Oba a Liger Bomb while he was standing on the ropes. Dragon hit a DDT on the floor to counter a chokeslam as Oba tried to chokeslam Lee through the commentator's table. Oba eventually picks up Lee for a chokeslam and drops him onto Wade Barrett's chair. That was probably a nice, comfortable landing, I'm certain. And I'm glad to see Wade Barrett was commentating the NXT show with Vic Joseph. I don't know why Booker T was not there. Oba countered a Hurricane Run to a powerbomb, and at 10 minutes 59 seconds, Oba Femi defeated Dragon Lee to retain the North American Championship. Now, throughout the night, we were seeing JC Jade and Thea Haley. They were showing bits and pieces of the new Chase University calendar. And they said it's going to be available the next day on WWE.com, Shop Zone and stuff. I don't know if it's called Shop Zone anymore. At one point, Riley Osborne, I doubt he's related to Ozzy and his family, he asked Thea Hale if she had a Valentine. Later in the show, Lexis King had come out, and I forgot what he said to Thea, but Riley Osborne comes over, and they get into it. And I believe they're having a match Tuesday night on the NXT show. Okay, and also at one point, General Manager Ava, or is it Ava, she was interviewed about being the GM of NXT, and this was her first big event since becoming the General Manager of NXT. She did announce that, I don't know if she announced it or if it was announced during the show, that on Tuesday, March 5th, it'll be a special NXT episode titled Roadblock. Yeah, it's Tuesday, March 5th. And, of course, Stand and Deliver, which is NXT's big one upon a WrestleMania weekend. That's going to be on Saturday, April 6th. And she also announced that they will be having Battleground on Sunday. Yeah, Battleground is Sunday, May 26th. I'm glad that's, looks like they're going to stick with that name. But on to the main event, as we saw Trick Williams, accompanied to the ring by Carmelo Hayes, challenging Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship. Definitely a contrast and clash in styles with both of these men. Early on, Trick hit a nice drop kick. Dragunov hit a lariato. I think they gave that some kind of a name. Dragunov calls it something. Ilya hit a German suplex on the floor, gave Trick the Death Valley driver on the apron. Hit a top rope dropkick as Trick tried to get back in the ring. Um, Trick tried for some kind of a kick, was countered by a powerbomb. Trick hits a lung blower. They exchange blows. Trick hit a flying clothesline. Trick with a Uranagi off the apron to the floor. At one point, Carmelo Hayes is like, I forgot if he put his hands on Dragunov or not, but Dragunov hits Hayes from behind, and as Hayes falls down, Hayes chop blocks Trick in the leg right by the stairs. Back in the ring, Trick hit a jumping neck breaker. Dragunov hit a powerbomb followed by an H-bomb, which is like a striking forearm while on a prone opponent. He hits a second. Actually, he tries a second rope H-bomb. I think he hit that. Trick hit a spin kick. Trick he went after Dragunov, but he accidentally hits the referee from behind, which knocks Carmelo Hayes off the apron. Trick hits a running knee strike, which is called the Trick knee. Dragunov hit a jumping knee, followed by another H-bomb. Dragunov tries for a top rope H-bomb, but Trick lifted his knees to catch him. Trick's in the corner. I forgot what he was planning to do. Dragunov's in the other corner. As they're running towards him, Dragunov hits what they call Torpedo Moscow, and Dragunov pins Trick Williams at 17 minutes, 38 seconds to retain the championship. After the match, Carmelo Hayes is in the ring consulting Trick Williams. And here's a little teaser spot here. And Hayes is, I forgot what he's trying to say to Trick. Like in the lower left corner, they put that, I guess the logo, probably said NXT Vengeance Day, copyright 2024. And that little thing is taken away. The music, Dragunov's music stops. Trick turns around. Even the fans, you can hear the fans are sensing it. What was about to happen, and Hayes chop blocks Trick in the leg, and then he brings a chair in the ring. He wails away on his leg with the chair. So the partnership, the Metal Trick partnership, obviously has come to an end, because after using the chair, Hayes took, I don't know if it was a t-shirt, it said TMG, which stood for Trick Mellow Gang, and he draped it on Trick's chest while he was still down on the mat. And then Carmelo leaves the ring, and he says I forgot what he said. He said to the crowd that I think he blaming the crowd for why he did this and did that. And before you left the ring, you could hear the fans clear as day yelling, "Fuck you, Mello!" So Carmelo Hayes goes heel not even a full year after his face turn. So look, I'm guessing those two are going to go at it. Trick and Carmelo Hayes at Stand and Deliver in April. Well, I mean, as I said, going into this didn't look that good on paper. I mean, I still think last year's Vengeance Day was a little better. I still wish NXT would do their big shows every month instead of just having a bigger than usual Tuesday night show. I mean, as I said, Roadblock will be Tuesday, March 5th. I don't know if they're going to have like a special kind of show in late April or early May, because knowing that a lot's going to happen between Stand and Deliver on April 6th all the way to Battleground on May 26th. And I know they're going to do Heat Wave on Sunday, July 7th, but I don't know if that means no Great American Bash this year, NXT-wise. Certainly, I mean, look, things are looking up for NXT, that's for certain. I mean, I really hope someday NXT has one of their big shows at the Barclays Center again. Heck, one thing that's yet to happen is NXT in Madison Square Garden. I'm dying to see that. That's what I would definitely go see that if it were to happen. Okay? Well, definitely enjoyed this. I enjoyed this show, and folks, you can just leave your comments of what you thought about the whole thing, and pretty good NXT event.